the people so as to prevent the spread of this virus. And on the line, I've had someone get in touch with me who has been isolating themselves for quite some time now. Just how long, we'll find out in a moment. Hello, caller, are you there?
Hi there, Julia.
Hello, how? Yeah, welcome. Who is it? Who am I talking to? Who's this?
I'm Patient Zero.
Patient Zero. Okay, we're going anonymous. Patient Zero is on the line. He's been in isolation. How many years is it now?
I don't know.
It's a while.
What year is it?
Well, it feels like it's 1984, but it's 2020.
Yeah, it feels strange.
What are your feelings and what are your emotions? How is this affecting you psychologically, emotionally? Are you feeling any kind of what's the word? Side effects? What's happening?
I think it's affecting me because obviously I call myself Patient Zero, so I don't want anyone to know where I am.
Okay.
Very strange behavior, but really, jokes aside, I've been isolating for about 5 days, and it's weird. I don't think
this is going to have consequences, right? We are social beings, and I was noticing tonight, like again, and I've been noticing this a lot. I think people are being friendlier to each other. There is this sort of feeling that we're all in the same boat, and we're feeling more united than we would do normally, but at the same time we're feeling more isolated, especially people like Patient Zero, who's having to cut himself off from society. But because of that, and because of the threat of that, I think we are reaching out to our fellow members of society and trying to connect with each other. What do you think, Dardasha?
Yes and no, because there are also people that are walking past each other and looking at each other as like, do you have the coronavirus?
Yeah.
You know, are you going to cough in my face? Are you going to breathe in my face? So there is that fear as well. But yes, there is also people are reaching out for each other. There are communities already has started to collect food for the elderly. I mean, I know of Rumi's Cave, and they already open their doors from 9 to 11 every morning to collect food and, and give it to the elderly. And just the fact that the kindness that people have thought of now to give elderly time to do their shopping in the morning. I mean, really and truly.
If there's any food left in the shop.
Yes, but also we should have considered this before the coronavirus. Why are we only kind to each other when a crisis happens?
Yeah, that's true. But Patient Zero, you've not been able to go to the shops for a while, I'm guessing. Has someone been bringing you food? Are you relying on friends or family, neighbours? What's happening?
No, I'm doing all right for food. I think I'll be all right for another few days as well. So far, so good. But really, what's troubling is just how we have to adapt our lives, just at these times. And I hoped we might talk about what might happen after this coronavirus passes.
Yeah. Let's find out. After, I was hoping this would be done in 3 months. I remember reading a while ago that 90% of cases would have been and gone within 3 months. Other people are saying more like 12 months. Other people are saying more like 18 months. I don't know when after this will be. Will life ever be the same again? Are we going to be living in a different world? What's your feeling on time? When will it be after?
It's strange, but things are already moving to the after phase. So if we kind of take away the human cost, or the medical side of this, just the aftermath of this in terms of financial the position of the world financially.
Yeah.
It's going to be very different. And in terms of small to medium businesses, I think, and this is going to be a little bit of exaggeration, but maybe 70% of them globally will have to either take on huge debts, which has huge ramifications, or will just go under. So
Really?
if that is the case, because you think about what the alternative is at the moment with the governments or the IMF and all the banks, they are in a great position, regardless of what's going on in the markets, to give loans. And they're not 0% loans. They are high interest loans. And as you can imagine, the powerful entities in this world are always poised to take advantage of good times or bad times. And this is how they position themselves. So this is the worst of times in many ways, and it's a very different type of catastrophe in a way. So on the end of that comes opportunists, as always. And in this society that we've built, it's the same opportunists that have been around for. You could actually. It's up to everybody what they think, but certainly financially, in my lifetime, it's very clear who these are, and the banks play a very big role in that control. So anyway, I don't want to, pontificate too much, but just think about coming at the end of this virus, what happens. As a small to medium-sized business, you can't operate really in this period, depending on how you take this, what approach you take in this period. So,
well, unless you're a specialist selling hand sanitizer,
you're in trouble. Yeah.
Patient Zero, I've got a question for you. Are you?
Yes, I did.
Are you? I mean, I hope you get better soon, and I hope we can reach you and help you when if you need help. And
sure.
I wanted to ask you: are you with the total lockdown? Do you think the UK should have done it sooner? Do you think they should do it, in fact, or should people just live their life normally and just strengthen their immune system to fight this virus? What's your thought about that?
So it's a very good question. I think it's a question all of us should consider, because I've changed my mind in many ways in the last probably 4 or 5 days. It's changed from that we are acting too slowly, we're not doing enough, which I still think in some cases that has to be true, because this is something that the NHS can't really deal with. Our social fabric has been eroded a bit in the last few years. So, but those things aside, so I was unhappy with the response, especially in comparison to Spain and France and Italy.
But at least we've got an NHS. Does Italy have a National Health Service, or Spain? We must be better prepared than some places.
We're quite well prepared, but in terms of how many nurse positions are lacking in the NHS, and doctors and things like that. It's there that we're lacking, and in some infrastructure as well. So we have a great NHS, but it's just been eroded. So we are not best placed, really. I mean, if this happened 15 years ago, technology aside, we might have been better placed. I don't know. It's difficult. Do
you think so? What, because of a Labour government or resources?
I just think because of cuts. Regardless of government, I mean, government takes an approach. Government makes a decision and takes an approach. So post 2008, the approach was, as you know, austerity. So as part of that cut, there were pay cuts and pay freezes. So we lost a lot of talent. Nurse bursaries were removed, so nurses now are in debt if they take on. So many of them don't actually go into nursing anymore. And So, I mean, we have a lot of problems. As you rightly pointed out, though, we do have a great NHS. And in comparison to Italy and France and Spain, they also have great healthcare. It's just financed differently. So it's just really about how they allow patients to use it at this moment. So they can shift to a very much NHS style in this period of, this virus. But yeah, so like I said, I mean, I was worried before, and I'm still a little bit worried because you look at the numbers of infected and dying. They're not good, regardless of if you think this is going to be worse or better than flu. This is more contagious and more dangerous. So going around in a circle, kind of the economics of this, and that's really not something I would ever say before. I don't think I ever would have looked at the economic angle ahead of the humanitarian angle, and I still don't. But the danger of what's coming at the end of this virus seems to me, huge.
The world
if comes to pass.
Will never be the same again. I don't know if that's an over-exaggeration.
Yeah, it's strange because it's difficult to consider, but just think of it logically. Most businesses don't run on a huge surplus. I mean, they have, most of them should be running quite well, but at times like this where you can't operate, let's just say for a month, if we lock down for 1 month, and all that you're being offered, I know there is some kind of stimulus from the government that is a grant, but that only applies for a certain amount of businesses.
What about universal basic income? We'll come back to that because I've just got a caller on the other line, so I'm going to do my high-tech merging of the calls and say, welcome caller on line 2, you're through to patient 0 and myself and Dasha. How are you coping with it?
Yes, not too bad. Sorry, I missed the beginning of what you were saying, but do like to sort of tune in and hear what we're talking about.
Thank you. Who is calling, by the way? Who is this?
Sorry, this is Roger.
Roger, welcome, Roger. You're through to patient 0. We're just talking about the implications of, well, what the world will look like when this is all over, if it's all over, when the fat lady does what she does.
Yeah, I mean, I think it definitely will be all over. Whether there'll be humans living or not might be a different thing. But I'm fairly positive. I think we're going over the top a little bit here.
Okay.
But I think the biggest thing that the biggest change we might see is the way our financial institutions are run. I'm not understanding where, I think the UK government are getting 330 billion to small businesses. I think there's 75 or 7.5 billion going to wherever you actually, where's all this money coming from? It's very interesting.
The magic money tree.
Say again?
It's from the magic money tree that we didn't have until now.
Well, and this raises a lot of questions. I think, I believe that as humanity we will come out stronger than this. Anytime you see great afflictions, whether it's wars or natural disasters, it does seem to bring people together. And whilst this is terrible what's going on, it's horrific, I actually think overall for the world this will be a turning point that we'll look back on and be like, wow, this is one of the defining points in society where things change.
Patient 0, do you think we'll look back on it as a time when we came back stronger?
Well, I hope Roger's right, to be honest. I really do hope that's true. And like you said, this is a good time to push UBI.
What's UBI? A universal basic income?
Right, yeah. So it's something that I largely agree with. I can see some problems with it, depending on which side or how much control you think government should have. But I hope Roger's right. I just am skeptical now because of the things I've seen in regard to what the banks are doing moving forward. So that's my concern. How do we weather this storm financially, and what is the tab because we bailed out the banks, and we had to bail out the banks. I don't think there was a choice. Something I disagree with, but it happened.
Mm-hmm.
And now, are we going to bail out? I hope we do, but I don't think we can bail out every business. And it looks like the banks are stepping in to give everybody loans. And just as another kind of example of how powerful people or capitalism pounces on these kind of catastrophes. Venezuela at the moment is being forced to pay 3 times more for coronavirus testing equipment than any other non-sanctioned country. I think it's the same with Iran.
Wow, not fair.
Yeah, it's strange when I hope Roger's right, because after World War II, so many good things came out of a big catastrophe.
Roger, any more thoughts to add? We're hoping you're correct.
Well, just looking by what's happened in history, as my dear friend just mentioned, the outcomings of the Second World War, which was absolutely a horrific event. But we saw the rise of the UN, I believe, came out of that. Or am I wrong with that, Julian?
Yeah, the League of Nations came out of that, and then was the League of Nations after the First World War? I think it was the First World War led to the League of Nations, and then it was the
exactly.
So these catastrophes cause people to react.
And that was the point. We had the League of Nations after the First World War, then the Second World War. I think the birth of the UN we saw, which is definitely not a complete institution. There's problems with the UN. I think actually the UN year came about in 1942, according to Google. Mind you, there's different things they're saying, so maybe ignore that. Sorry, but yeah, there are things there are changes that are brought about, and I think there are these ongoing crises and victories that the world sees. And the way I see it, just as when someone's growing up as a teenager. Sometimes they need to make horrific mistakes to bring about change, and I think change can come around either through the mature realization that we are intrinsically linked to each other. We are one human family, and we should embrace that very much so. Or we go this silly route where we start just working for ourselves, and you know, rampant materialism and the degradation of society, which ultimately, leads us on a path that isn't unified. And a big catastrophe like this, I think, will bring us back together. I think there's no choice, really, apart from this to happen. That's not to say there won't be casualties.
Roger, what's the biggest mistake that you've learned from in your life? Since you mentioned
I think, for myself personally, I think it's always having me versus. And I think once you put when you put yourself at the centre of things, that's the biggest mistake I've sort of realised. But when you have this approach of this all-encompassing approach, actually the gains that you have, maybe it's not financially, you might not have the seeming gains that society says that we want. I remember when I was young, I used to sell Tamagotchis, if you remember Tamagotchis.
Yeah, the pet.
And I remember there was another kid who would sell them, and I remember I sellotaped his eyes once as a joke. Yeah. But he obviously got very, very upset by that, and I threatened that if he was going to sell any Tamagotchis, there would be trouble. Little did I realise that this made me quite unpopular, and my Tamagotchi sales went down. So whereas I thought, and this is silly, I was only 9 years old at the time, but it made me realise that your conduct actually affects your finances as well. And actually, more important than that, regardless of your finance, your conduct, your word, your character is arguably the strongest thing we have. Wow. So really, I think putting others at the centre of your actions is probably the biggest thing I've learned. And it's an ongoing thing, Julian. Many mistakes to come, I'm sure.
For sure. Any Tamagotchis left?
The Tamagotchis are all gone, but I have a couple of shops soiled Tamagotchis.
Superficial damage to the box.
That's it.
Oh, thank you, Roger. Thank you.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Indeed.
Roger, thank you very much for getting in touch.
Not at all. Take care, brother. Bye-bye.
Have a good night. Thank you. Yeah.
I've got a question.
Patient Zero, if you're still on the line, Dardasha's got a question for you, and then we'll let you go and isolate yourself.
Patient zero, did you try to call 111? I mean, we spoke a little bit about the NHS and we know how great they are, but there are also complaints. People are complaining also that they've been trying to call and, you know, they're not offering testing anymore. We understand that they will be under a lot of pressure, but what's your say about that when they say they can only test people who are over 60? I mean, that's one of the people that called said to me that's what they got as an answer. What's your say about that?
Well, the testing issue is again a good question, because I don't think we have the means to test even a quarter of the population. So I think what we have to do then is only test people that really have a maybe 60 to 70% chance of contracting it. When I say that, I mean show symptoms. 60 to 70% of the symptoms, so very close to pneumonia, I would say, are people being tested.
We're going to have to prioritise.
Right. And the problem is, you know, if you look at reports from Italy, they are prioritising the machines that they use for breathing. Can't remember what they're called.
Ventilators.
Right, yeah, the ventilators. So they're having to prioritize.
Oh man.
On a survivability and life moving forward basis.
That is an awful decision to have to make.
Right, exactly. And you know, as the doctor said, that's something they do as a ER doctor anyway. You know, as an emergency response doctor anyway. But the fact that they don't have the equipment is causing them to make further concessions on their decision. So it's difficult. But I don't know. I mean, just if I can go back just to what Roger was talking about, you know, I can go back to World War II, and I think we're going to have to fight for the things that we want, just like they did in World War II. I mean, I don't think the NHS just appeared out of nowhere.
And it is a leap forward, like Roger said, when these disasters happen. I think women probably wouldn't have got the vote in this country if it wasn't for the First World War and the population appreciating what women did while men were on the front line. They kept the country running. So who knows what lessons we'll learn from all of this. As you know, we're all about learning lessons for life. I just hope we come out of this with something gained. And we're going to lose a hell of a lot as well, of course.
Hopefully not. You know, it's strange, but you know, after World War II, we also carved up the world in a very particular way. You know, so it's
we carved up the world as we gave it its freedom, right? This is the post-colonial era. Been for the Second World War, those colonial or those colonies might still have been under the Raj or under the French occupation of North Africa.
Possibly, yeah. I mean, there are obviously, like you say, there are examples of where it worked well and where it didn't work well. But really, for me, it's going to be a interesting time to see how power divides the outcome. You know, because the outcome's going to be very different to before coronavirus. And that's going to be a different world, like you said. So,
I don't know. Interesting times. Patient Zero, thank you very much for getting in touch and sharing your thoughts on this. May I say you've been very eloquent and lucid. Maybe your time alone has given you time to process your thoughts. And
I hope you recover fully.
Yeah. Someone in the chat was saying he doesn't sound too well. That's from Triple T. I think you sound like you're recovering. You sound like you're on the way back.
I'm hoping that it's not actually coronavirus.
Yeah, of course.
We'll see. If it gets any worse, I won't call you.
Thank you for reaching.
If it improves, I'll be in touch.
Thank you very much.
Get well soon.
Get well soon. Stay safe out there. Thank you.
Yeah.
That was.
Good night.
Thank you, sir. Patient Patient zero. Oh, wow. Well, we've just got time for Dardasha to round off the show with some health tips on how to have a strong immune system, because I have been force-fed vitamin C, ginger, I don't know what else goes into these drinks, but
Well-
I feel very tired after I have them.
I am going to share the secret
Okay, here we go.
with all of you.
Yeah,
And this recipe is from my mom.
and it's
So
homemade.
it's homemade, yes, it's organic. And now that I've got the chance, I will share it with everybody. And I hope you all, just give it a try, believe in it. We will all pass this time, this rough time together, hopefully, with best health. So, are you ready for the recipe?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay.
Everybody get a pen.
So basically, if you start feeling symptoms of dry sore throats, let's say, or even if you feel like you've got a bit of a flu, you're running down, just straight away, get ready, lemon and ginger, if you have ginger. If you don't, then turmeric is a must. So a spoon, like a tiny spoon of turmeric, and a little bit of pepper, because the black pepper will activate the turmeric.
So black pepper has an effect on turmeric.
Yes.
Because I took some turmeric without the black pepper. Was I wasting my time?
I'm sure there's good into it as well, but the
activates it.
black pepper has effect to that, to activate it. So if you put a little bit of turmeric, black pepper, and a little bit of honey, mix them together with lemon, a little bit of hot water, drink it, or take it like a spoon. Try and do that daily, in the morning, in the evening, and try to avoid cold drinks nowadays. Try really avoid cold drinks. Just let your hot drink nowadays to be lemon and ginger, and once you can, add honey, natural honey.
Unless you're allergic.
Unless if you're
In which case
allergic,
don't.
like myself, but I am doing the other ingredients without the honey, and I'm drinking it with lemon and hot water. I'm sure all of you know that you should not stay without water more than 15 minutes. So keep drinking lots of fluids, lots of warm drinks.
Because they say drink throughout the day, right? Keep your throat hydrated.
Yes.
And any bacteria, it's better to wash it down into the stomach where it will be killed, rather than lingering around the throat where it can cause an infection.
Yeah, and gargle with water and salt as well. Hopefully that would also kill any viruses that comes into your mouth. And maybe we can keep that as a habit regardless, even after this.
Just like washing our hands, which some people didn't do before all of this.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So I'm glad. I'm on top of it. I'm telling my daughter, wash your hands all the time when you come from outside. This, that. So I think everybody it's like a wake up call for everybody to notice. Those small things that we have probably have caught viruses before and been ill, but we didn't know about it. There are a lot of people that die every day, but we don't know about it. Now that it's recorded because of the coronavirus, we are aware of how many people that we lose daily. Other than that, it would have been happening throughout the year, and we don't know how many people we lose of anything, regardless, of any illnesses. So again, that would probably be a wake-up call for us as a community to care, to know what's happening around the world.
A lot of people are saying, oh, this is a curse from God, or it's a test from God. The way I'm thinking about it, that's on your interpretation. If you believe in God and you think everything comes from God and you want to call it a curse, then what are you saying about the God you believe in? But if you believe God tests you, then pass the test. Use it to become a better person. Use it to help your neighbour. Rise to the test. We're all going to die someday anyway. But how did we live? Did we help people when there was an emergency?
Exactly.
Hopefully we will.
Yeah, I mean, believing in God means that you need to be optimistic. Because if you do believe that there is a stronger power, just like this virus that suddenly have caused all this chaos around the whole world, then surely God can stop all of this, and all of us can heal and learn and be all together. So I guess we have to be optimistic. I am optimistic, and even my shirt says "Don't worry," in both languages, in English and in German.
In both languages.
Yes, and I mean in 2 languages. I'll have to add one in Arabic. We have to be optimistic regardless. The fear of the virus, the fear of dying will kill us. We should not fear it. Yes, we have to be cautious. We have to do what we can, but we can't live with fear, and we can't live with anxiety, being afraid of this virus and isolating. Yes, do isolate yourself. Do the necessities that you need when you can. Care about those who needs your help, but stay optimistic. It's very important. And I know it's hard for people that lost their jobs. They are unable to pay their rent. Hopefully, if we find out more links of how we can help those people that needs help, we will share it with you soon.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got messages from friends saying that there are people that are not British citizens. They've lost their jobs. They're struggling. They don't know how they're going to pay for their rents. So I'm not sure how we're going to help the people that suffered of their job loss more than the virus that might have not affected them at this stage, and hopefully will not.
Yeah, we're going to have to help each other. Okay. Well, thank you, Dadasha, for that good advice.
Thank you.
And thank you to Patient Zero. Thank you to Roger. Thank you to the people in the comments. This has been Lessons for Life, and we'll do it all again soon. By the way, the footage in the background is pictures from Paris, which has been on lockdown, if anyone's wondering what that shaky video is all about. It's what a lockdown might look like. It doesn't mean that we won't be able to go to shops to get food. There is enough food. Don't panic buy. Don't buy all the toilet rolls. Just calm down, stick together, look out for each other, and we will get through this test. And we will be back in touch soon. This has been Lessons for Life. We'll do it all again soon. We were here. We're gone. Laters. Here's a different version of do you like this version? It's a reggae version.
That's what?
It's a reggae version of the usual thing.
Oh,
You're going to sing? Yeah, I messaged the guys who told me. He gave me his email. I said, I love that song. He got on my YouTube. I love it. He said, yeah, you can use it. He's John Catton, by the way. This is John Catton's version of our usual theme tune, Can We Talk? Karaoke night. Come on, Dadasha. Karaoke night. We'll do the little